Many in MAGA world deeply disappointed in the Trump administration following a late Sunday evening news dump concluding there is no evidence that convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein blackmailed powerful figures, kept a client list, or was murdered.
On the Megyn Kelly Show, a shocking revelation crushes MAGA hopes. The Trump DOJ's explosive Epstein investigation update reveals no client list, no indictments, and no proof of cover-ups. Loyal Trump allies forced to explain contradictory statements and vanishing evidence while victims' voices get drowned out. Meanwhile, heartbreaking flood devastation unfolds in Texas. Let's break this down.
Axios obtaining a brief DOJ and FBI joint memo that states the files relating to Epstein do include a large volume of images of Epstein's victims and more than 10,000 files containing child sexual abuse material, only a fraction of which would have been made public had Epstein gone to trial due to its sensitive nature. However, the memo noting, quote, "We did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties."
This DOJ memo attempts to kill decades of conspiracy theories with a single official denial, but it also erases the possibility of accountability, deepening distrust and frustration among Epstein's victims and Trump's base.
More from the memo, quote, "One of our highest priorities is combating child exploitation and bringing justice to victims. Perpetuating unfounded theories about Epstein serves neither of those ends. To that end, while we have labored to provide the public with maximum information regarding Epstein and ensured examination of any evidence in the government's possession, it is the determination of the DOJ and the FBI that no further disclosure would be appropriate or warranted." The memo concluding with links to two versions of lengthy security cam footage said to be from outside Epstein's cell block, one raw, one digitally altered for clarity. The DOJ and FBI saying the nearly 11 hours of footage taken outside of the cell block on the night of Epstein's death proves no one entered the area in those critical hours. In response to the memo, MAGA influencers recirculating videos of Attorney General Pam Bondi on Fox earlier this year, teasing new information about the Epstein client list.
DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed.
That was February 21st. The Epstein client list was sitting on her desk, she said. As of July 6th, there is no client list. On February 26th, Ms. Bondi went on with Fox's Jesse Waters. Here's what she told him.
One of the things a lot of people are wondering, because you said last week that you have the Epstein files on your desk, is when can we see them and what's taking so long to release them?
I do. Jesse, there are well over, this will make you sick, 200 victims. 200. So we have over 250 actually. So we have to make sure that their identity is protected and their personal information.
These raw victim numbers only inflame the outrage. Knowing this evidence supposedly exists but remains sealed fuels suspicion of deliberate secrecy within the Trump-aligned DOJ.
But other than that, I think tomorrow, the personal information of victims. Other than that, I think tomorrow, Jesse, breaking news right now, you're going to see some Epstein information being released by my office. What you're going to see, hopefully tomorrow, is a lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information. But it's pretty sick what that man did.
Okay, well,
along with his co-defendant.
Absolutely, and he had help. That's for sure.
He sure did.
The next day, Bondi calling a group of conservative influencers to the White House in a meeting that was reportedly attended by Bondi, FBI head Kash Patel, and the vice president, handing out binders labeled The Epstein Files, Phase 1, which the influencers were then filmed showing off outside the White House, believing they contained new information. Turned out it was recycled, already public information, leading many to wonder why Bondi would embarrass some of the president's most loyal supporters. That night, then counselor to the president, Alina Habba, who would officially join the DOJ just weeks later, doubling down that the administration has flight logs and client names.
In this case, in Epstein's case, it is incredibly disturbing. We have flight logs, we have information, names that will come out. There were so many individuals that were hidden and kept secret and not been held accountable. Now, I won't say they're guilty until they go through their time in court. But again, now it's time for accountability. And I really believe that now with Cash and Pam, there will be accountability.
After the influencer debacle, Ms. Bondi expressed anger, claiming the FBI had allegedly withheld documents from her, but promising there would be another release. In March, Ms. Bondi saying officials were poring over a truckload of previously withheld evidence received from the FBI, accusing the Biden administration of sitting on these documents because they did not believe in transparency. Then, late Sunday, left-leaning outlet Axios with its scoop. The DOJ and FBI in an unsigned memo announcing no more documents or proof would be forthcoming, claiming, in fact, there is none. No one to indict, no names to release, no client list, and no evidence that he blackmailed prominent associates. The DOJ reporting that its Epstein files do include more than 10,000 videos and images of illegal child sex abuse material and, quote, other pornography, none of which they say will be released. That came as a surprise to some working on Epstein-related cases who say they did not know of these images, and neither Epstein nor partner Ghislaine Maxwell were charged with possession of child sex abuse material. On Monday, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt was asked by Fox News' Peter Doocy about AG Bondi's reversal on the existence of an Epstein client list. After a quick attempt to suggest Ms. Bondi did not mean what she clearly said, Leavitt bounced past all questions to the DOJ.
So what happened to the Epstein client list that the Attorney General said she had on her desk?
Well, I think if you go back and look at what the Attorney General said in that interview, which was on your network on Fox News.
Got the quote.
Go ahead.
John Roberts said, DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? And she said, it's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Yes, she was saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. That's what the Attorney General was referring to, and I'll let her speak for that.
The DOJ later adopting Leavitt's defense, suggesting Bondi only ever meant to suggest she was reviewing Epstein materials, not an actual client list. As private citizens, FBI Director Kash Patel and Deputy Director Dan Bongino raised questions about the handling of the Epstein investigation, though since joining the administration, both Patel and Bongino have remained adamant that all available evidence points to suicide. The Daily Wire's Andrew Klavan on Monday's Megyn Kelly show saying Trump administration officials have a duty to share more with the public about why their assessments have changed since joining the administration.
This is extremely upsetting. I mean, I'm a big Dan Bongino fan. I judge him to be a man of integrity who really is committed to doing the right thing. I've met Kash Patel, but I don't know Kash Patel, but I've always been favorably impressed by him. So if there's no list of people who did things, are there no witnesses? Some of these women have come forward and said, I was raped again and again. Well, by whom? Did you recognize the person? Can you identify him in a photo array? Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison for 20 years. Is there no deal that she would accept to get less prison time and come on and say, let me tell you who I brought into this island? I'm not satisfied with you saying, Pam Bondi misspoke or whatever the hell she did when she said, yes, this list is on my desk. All right, so there's no list, but is there no way of attaining names and information from the people who were victimized? I mean, this thing has been covered up so completely. This is not holding together. And I think a guy of the quality of Dan Bongino should be coming forward with it. This is a moment for Kash and Dan to really stand up. It's not enough to leak this at the end of the 4th of July weekend. You've got to come forward and tell me why you cannot get the names of people.
Calls for Trump. DOJ insiders to break silence expose how deep the crisis of credibility runs within the administration, leaving even faithful supporters demanding answers and accountability.
From the people who were abused.
We've reached out to the FBI for an interview, but we were told that neither Director Patel nor Deputy Director Bongino are making themselves available at this time. Coming up, Texas rescue crews forging ahead as continuing rainfall threatens to bring more flooding as dozens remain missing. And Border Czar Tom Homan has a message for New York City's Democratic nominee for mayor. I've been talking a lot about Riverbend Ranch steaks lately, and for good reason. The ranch is just a few miles from West Yellowstone, Montana, where we go in the wintertime, and their steaks are so flavorful and surprisingly tender. even someone like me who does not know how to cook can make it taste delicious. It's thanks to the quality of the beef. A lot of our listeners have been writing in, sharing similar feedback. Abigail Finan will not stop talking about Riverbend Ranch, and I feel the same. So these guys raise Angus cattle, but they've taken it even further. For 35 years now, more than 3 decades, the owner has selectively bred Angus cattle with superior genetics for marbling and tenderness. It's all about the marbling and the tenderness, creating a herd that truly stands out. Their beef is born, raised, and processed too entirely inside America without artificial growth hormones or antibiotics. And it is shipped directly from the ranch to your door. Riverbend Ranch is not just another beef company. It's a legacy of quality care and craftsmanship that you can taste in every bite. Order from riverbendranch.com. Use the promo code Megan for $20 off your first order, and you'll be eating the same steak that my family and I eat at night. And let me know what you think. riverbendranch.com, promo code Megan. The death toll rising in central Texas. At least 89 now confirmed dead in what is one of the deadliest floods in 100 years.
This explosive DOJ memo claiming no client list and no evidence of Epstein's blackmail detonates faith in Trump's promises of transparency, while victims and advocates face a wall of silence. Megyn Kelly's special digs into the contradictions from key officials like Pam Bondi and the FBI leadership, exposing a meltdown in MAGA's Epstein narrative just when the public demands answers. The fallout is intense, and the survivors deserve justice. Drop your take below on what this really means for power, truth, and accountability.